So it's not every day that I get to talk about old iPhones. Totally just kidding, I talk about old iPhones every single day. But there are some older types of iPhones that you should still keep probably for the next year or two. Now, when you look at iPhones like the iPhone 13 Pro, the iPhone 12 Pros, these are brand new iPhones. You should probably end up keeping the 12 Pro. Is a little bit of a different device. But iPhones like the iPhone 11 Pro, you should still consider keeping. These aren't super old. 2019, it's 3 years. That's not really that, long of a time. But when I consider an older iPhone as of this point, are the lowest supported iPhones that are currently available. So things like the iPhone 10 and iPhone 8 Plus, they're not widely available because you can't go into the Apple Store and buy them, but you can go into Amazon, go into eBay, and comfortably buy these things all over the place. You probably can get them delivered to you tomorrow if you really wanted to. And these are two iPhones I would recommend you to keep even in the next cycle when the iPhone 14s come out. If you have really either one of these iPhones, it will probably make the most amount of sense to just keep them for the time being. Now with the iPhone 8 Plus, this is a little bit more of a harder sell because it is a little bit of a dated design. Sorry for the cracked back, but this is an iPhone that still is fairly decent. If you currently own this iPhone, it's one of the last home button iPhones, Touch ID 2 on the front, very big display. The battery life is the one thing that's probably gone down a little bit, but a factory reset can help that a little bit if you're going up to iOS 16. And honestly, this has been a pretty stable phone for the most part. Out of all the older iPhones I've had probably the least amount of issues with this device. I've had tons of issues with it regardless throughout the years, but for the most part, there's none that stick out to me. I've had issues with my iPhone 10 before, but this iPhone is still a decent one I would recommend keeping. Would it be the first one I would recommend buying? Absolutely not. If you have the money, I would go for the iPhone 11 series or the iPhone 11 Pro. This is a very good iPhone, but the 8 Plus I think is still a decent option. But this takes us to the iPhone 10. Now, I've talked about this iPhone nonstop since it pretty much came out. But this iPhone is just so good. It's just one of those iPhones you can just buy and just almost forget about. It is a really, really good iPhone. And if you currently own this iPhone, this is even better because you don't even have to go and buy it. The display on this thing is still very good. I've personally had a great experience with this type of phone. The build quality is very, very good as well. And honestly, when I use this iPhone, and I talk about this a lot, and I use iPhones like my iPhone 13 Pro, and this is still an iPhone that holds up very well. Of course, it's not as fast. Apps don't open as fast as the other iPhones. The cameras aren't as good either. But as a complete package for this phone, pretty much being less than like $300, you can probably buy it for like $250, honestly, even less than that. This is a very decent iPhone for the price tag. And the thing that just surprises me the most is that it's probably still I hope it gets supported for the next few years. I don't know for a fact, but if this thing ends up going for the next maybe like 3 years, like the next 2 years, that would be another big advantage. I've had a decent, experience of this thing on iOS 16. The battery that's going down like crazy right now because I didn't charge it. But I will tell you, for the next few years, although this is an older iPhone, I would probably recommend keeping it for the most part, in my opinion. So in terms of that kind of covers it up. If you have any other thoughts or questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.